This is WTVA News Today.
Disabled girl in Hattiesburg now has a four-legged friend to help her get along, and it's all thanks to the generosity of some North Mississippians. Good morning, thanks. 05, a 6-year-old disabled girl from Hattiesburg receives a gift many people hope will make her life easier.
This morning, WTVA's Allie Ware shows us how several people from North Mississippi got together to give the girl her own service dog. Sometimes things just fall into place and work out just right. And this was the case for Kaylin Squires. Kaylin was born with a disease that caused her to have both legs amputated. The story of how fate ended up on Kaylin's side all started with a phone call from dog trainer Stacy Urban's client, who invited Kaylin over to her house to play with her children.
Kaylin had fallen. When she fell, she started to cry. Bridget told Kaylin, no, we don't cry around here. There's plenty of help around. So with one of the dogs that we were training, she asked that dog to go over and to help Kaylin up. Kaylin has 2 prosthetic legs. So the little dog, or the big dog, actually went over, laid down. Kaylin grabbed a hold of the dog lifted up, and Kaylin was back up on her legs. Well, there an idea was born.
Since Kaylin's family could not afford to buy and train a service dog, Urban contacted her friend Dolores Brooks, who is a dog breeder and had just had a litter. She asked Brooks if she might want to donate a puppy to be trained as a service dog for Kaylin.
When I got the picture of Kaylin and seeing her legs, in the prosthesis, I just looked at her and saw just a beautiful little girl, a 6-year-old girl that reminded me so much of my own daughters, and I just wanted to help, just like I would hope that someone would help me with my children.
So Urban was off to pick the perfect puppy.
I went out and I did the assessment on 3 dogs, 1 male and 2 females. And I picked the best that I thought and felt professionally was a good temperament, and it so happened to be, it was Abby.
And it just so happens Abby had just become available.
I had a dog that was supposed to go to a gentleman in Jackson, and a week before he was supposed to pick him up, he had a terrible wreck and was injured severely enough that he wasn't going to be able to care for a puppy.
But the man had already paid a deposit. When he found out about Kaylin, he asked that the deposit be used for Abby's training. On Memorial Day weekend, at a disabled children's benefit, Kaylin was presented her dog Abby.
Kaylin just went, so she was pretty surprised. Through many donations, Stacy Urban will be able to train and get the dog training harnesses and necessities at absolutely no cost to Kaylin's family. Still ahead, I'll introduce you to one woman who has relied on a service dog for years and how Abby will be able to help Kaylin. In the studio, I'm Allie Ware for WTVA News Today. Cost to cover the trip is $15.
At 6:39 earlier this morning, WTVA's Allie Ware told us about a disabled 6-year-old girl who now has a 4-legged friend to help her get around, thanks to the generosity of some North Mississippians.
Still ahead on WTVA News Today.
Get around, thanks to the generosity of some North Mississippians.
Still ahead on WTVA News Today, Allie Ware is back with more on the story. Plus, we'll hear from a woman with MS who has a service dog of her own and how it benefits her in her daily life.
WTVA's Allie Ware shared the story of how a disabled Mississippi girl was given a service dog thanks to some generous families in North Mississippi.
And she joins us again now this morning with more on that story. 6-year-old Kaylin Squires was presented a service dog through the donations and dog trainer from Stacy Urban and breeder Dolores Brooks. The donations have now turned into a business relationship between the dog trainer and breeder. One woman who suffers from MS tells us this morning how Kaylin will benefit from the dog. Patty Aguirre suffers from MS and has a service dog to help her out. She says although her dog is incredible and something everyone with a disability should have, it's not always easy to get one.
The problems I found with it, the wait lists are long from the programs. If you're approved, you have to wait sometimes 4, 5, 6 years to get one. And when a person needs one now, that's a long time to wait. And then if you do your own dog, if you don't have a lot of money personally to pay a trainer, it's a very difficult thing.
Urban trains Aguirre's dog and will also be training Kaylin's dog. Aguirre tells us some of the things her pup does for her every day.
He tells me when I'm getting hot and tired. He'll warn me before it comes on. If I have to sit down and I don't have a chair, he braces me to sit down on the trail or wherever I am. And then after I rest, he'll brace me getting back up. If I get hot and lightheaded, I lean on him. If I'm really tired and starting having problems with this leg, I have a little handle that I can even use like a person would use a cane, and I don't have to take one.
When I started to train Abby, he was there helping.
Trainer Stacy Urban says this experience has touched her so much. She adds, since Mississippi doesn't have a service dog program, she has applied for a nonprofit status and will be partnering up with breeder Dolores Brooks. Brooks will donate puppies to be trained as service dogs. The dogs will then go to homes where a disabled person will be able to have a service dog free of charge. In the studio, I'm Allie Ware for WTVA News Today.
6:45.